boys, welcome. And today we got a brand new video where I figure it's about time. I've played the game long enough, it's been out, we've had opportunity to test stuff out, so I figured it's probably about time that I make a video on the best 5 drift cars in Horizon 5. Now these probably aren't everyone's best, but from all the ones I've tried out and been able to mess around with, these are the ones that I've been able to drift them best, and for the most part these are going to be rear wheel drive drift builds. So without wasting any more time, let's get into number 5 here, which you might already see, and this is actually the festival car this week. It's the 84 Honda Civic, or the CRX Mugen, and the nice thing about this car, you can drift it in rear wheel drive or you can drift it in all wheel drive. I've found that it's able to drift well in both. I just currently have it in rear wheel drive. I don't know, this has been one of my favorite cars in Horizon 4 where it was really exclusive, and it just makes me happy when the super rare exclusive cars are actually good, and this is one of those cases. So since it's free this week and everyone can get their hands on it, I recommend you do, because if you don't drift it, at the very least it's going to be worth a lot next week. So that's going to be my number 5 spot, and I guess let's move on to number 4. All right, boys. At the number 4 spot, we have one of my favorite drift cars in Horizon 4, and it did not disappoint in Horizon 5. This thing is still, without a doubt, one of the best, smoothest drift cars in the entire game, and that is the BMW M6 Coupe. Now, this did used to be a Forza Edition car in Horizon 4, and it offered a drifting skill boost, and if you swap this to all-wheel drive, this is actually one of my better point drift cars in this game. It just has a ton of horsepower, and there's pretty much unlimited things you can do with this car. I don't know, you can see through here that it's keeping the transitions nice and smooth. It's redlining a little bit, but that's just because I haven't really adjusted the gearing ratio on it. Also, keep in mind that most of the tunes you're seeing in these videos, all I've done is engine upgrades. It's pretty much stock rear wheel drive, so I could show you how the cars drift on their own without any specific modifications. I don't think this is super expensive or exclusive. This is probably one of those cars where you could go get your hands on it immediately, and I recommend you do so, because if you're looking for like a good beginner drift car, this is your guy. I don't know, I never get tired of drifting it, and it's without a doubt an easy top 5 for this list. So boys, let's jump in to spot number 3. All right, boys, we might have a bit of a controversial pick, and we're putting the Toyota AE86, the Terreno, right in at number 3. I know lots of you might think it should be a number 1 car, but on steering wheel, the force feedback is just so weird with this car. It just like the wheel shakes really weird, and it's almost like I have to fight it to drift the car. But no, it is an unbelievably phenomenal drift car. It's just, it feels so weird on the wheel, and there's 2 cars I can think of that I enjoy drifting more and that I think drift better, that I've placed above it. You guys can let me know down below if you agree with this, but for our number 3 spot, that's where we're gonna put it. Again, it is very rare and a very good drift car. Like, a number 3 spot's very good, but I just couldn't really put it at the number 1 or number 2 because of how weird it makes the wheel feel. I don't know what they did, but anyways, that's number 3. Let's get on to our top 2 here, baby. All right, boys, had a bit, again, maybe a controversial pick, but I can't dispute how smooth this car is. And I know it was just added to the game, but that doesn't mean it can't take a top 3 spot. That's the 2019 new Subaru. And it may be that I have a V8 in this car, but I highly doubt that's the only reason. It's just so smooth. It drifts perfectly, and it really just comes down to your pedal control, because the car is pretty much steering itself when you drift. It's just such a good drift car, and honestly, it was a struggle whether or not to put this at the top 1 spot, but at the top 1 spot, you probably already guessed what it is, so there's no way I could dispute it. That being said, if I'm just casually driving around the city, I think this is probably my new favorite car. Like, it is a number 2, but it looks so amazing, first of all, with this wide body kit. It's insane, and it's just very forgiving. This is, again, stock tuning options. I just upgraded the engines and put some drift tires on, just the basics from the tuning setup, and very rarely do I feel like this car is going to spin out on me. Its gearing ratio is next to perfect, I'd say. And it's just, I don't know, all in all, an amazing car. I said it on the video I made on this car, but they really did outdo themselves. It's just so phenomenal. I've never had a car feel this smooth on the steering wheel. It's like they adjusted the force feedback for this one car alone, and I tried it out even on controller yesterday. It's unbelievably smooth. I have no idea what in the world they did to this car to make it like this, but if you haven't gotten your hands on it yet, you have to immediately. I know it's technically a Car Pass car, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Car Pass car is released to general public eventually. I'm not completely sure. If not, spend the $2. Like, what else? You get coffee? No, spend the $2, get this car. It's literally gonna be one of your best drift vehicles. And even if you don't want to drift it, the thing's a rally beast. I was doing some rally races in it yesterday. Oh my goodness, it's just all around a good car. But this video is about drifting, so we're gonna keep it to drifting. This is a strong number 2, but let's get back to that number 1 spot, boys. All right, boys, at a strong number 1, this might come as no surprise, and maybe it's a little cheesy, but you really can't dispute that the Supra is just always the best drift car. No matter what game you're playing, if there's a Supra in it, it's likely gonna be one of the stronger drift cars in the game, and Forza Horizon 5 here is no exception. It's just smooth. The force feedback, oh, well, was not expecting that guy to be there. The force feedback is very similar to that of the Subaru at the number 2 spot, but it's just the car's engine makes lines very clean. You can drive in a straight line, or you can hold constant drifts. I've never found myself using this car thinking, yikes, this is actually a little bit hard to control. And again, all these tunes I'm using on it are completely stock. All I've done are some engine upgrades, except for this is even the stock engine on this car. So honestly, this car, it's just beautiful. There's so many customizations you can do, and especially now in Horizon 5 when they've added the wide body kit for the Supra, I don't know, kind of seems like a no-brainer. I know it's going to be a controversial number 1 spot, but I feel like most people are going to agree with me that this car is just one of the best drifters. Point drifting doesn't matter. If you don't know how to drift, this car is going to drift regardless. So that's why it's a strong number 1 spot, and it's probably going to be a number 1 spot forever. I doubt there's a car that comes out and tops this. So, boys, if you made it through to the end, let me know down below. I do appreciate you guys watching. This was a video I definitely had to make because there are just so many cars in this game, and people are still getting into it. People are going to be getting it for Christmas. This video has to exist, and you can let me know if you agree with the list or not down below. Also, make sure you boys are joining the club. It's just Horizon. I think you can search us up on Xbox to join the club, and then it should show in Horizon 5. If you're on PC, I think you can do it through the Xbox Companion app. Anyways, I'm not an expert. Just make sure you join up Horizon. And boys, that's gonna do it for this one. So, thanks for watching. How about a peace?